What's up guys, it's me, Baby Weenus. I'm here with another Legends of Runeterra deck guide. This week's deck is a Jinx deck that focuses on hyper-aggressive cards. So the whole purpose of this deck is to just play a lot of small minions as fast as possible, and then there's a bunch of spells in there that you can use to burst down the opponent's nexus before they get to deploy their strategy. It wins probably 75 to 80% of the games since the new meta started. So let's get into it. I'll show you exactly how it works. So first I'm going to go over all the minions in this deck. So the first one is Legion Rearguard. It's a 1-cost 3/2. It can't block, but this deck is not really focused on blocking and making trades. It's more just getting as much damage on board as possible in the early turns and then smashing your opponent before they get to put their big cards out. So if you can get this out on turn 1 or turn 1 and turn 2, and you can be doing 3 and then 6 damage the next turn, he's almost dead by turn 3. We can definitely put 3 of these in the deck. After that, we have Legion Saboteur. Legion Saboteur is another 1-cost. It is a 2/1, and when it attacks, it deals 1 damage to the Nexus. This doesn't matter if it gets blocked or gets killed. As long as it attempts to attack, you get an additional damage. So this is turn 1. You play her. She does 2 damage if she's not blocked, and then additional damage for this. You're doing 3 damage on turn 1. These are definitely a must to have 3 as well. After that, we have Boom Crew Rookie. So this is a 2-cost card. It's 1/4, but when it attacks, it does 2 damage to the Nexus. And you'll see that's kind of a theme to this deck, is just focusing on Nexus damage. You're not going to try to win trades or do anything fancy. You're just doing as much damage to the Nexus in as little time as possible. So when this guy attacks, he does the 1 damage if he's not blocked, and then whether he's blocked or not, he still gets through the 2 extra damage. Most of the time, you're going to be able to attack twice with this guy, so you'll get at least 4 damage out of him. Great card, and I'll show you how that works in a minute here. We also then have House Spider. So the way House Spider works, it's a 2-cost 2/2, and when you summon it, it also summons a 1/1. So you're getting a 2/2 and a 1/1 for 2 mana, which is great. You can use these to defend, so if your opponent plays some large minions and starts attacking you, you can block, one with the 2/2, you can block one of them with the 1/1, and keep some of your more important cards alive. Or if you're able to play this early and he doesn't have an answer, you can just start attacking with these and do some extra damage. Then we have Crimson Disciple. So Crimson Disciple is another 2-cost card. It's a 2/3, and when it survives damage, you deal 2 damage to the enemy Nexus. Like I said, that's the focus of this deck, is just dealing damage to their Nexus, killing them as fast as possible. So this card works if you want to block things that have less than 3 attack. You can do damage, but also there's 2 cards in here that benefit from this as well. The first one is Blade's Edge, which is 1-cost, deal 1 to anything. So rather than using this to attack their Nexus, which you can, if you have a Crimson Disciple out, you can attack the Crimson Disciple and bring it down to a 2/2, and you do 2 damage to the Nexus, and you can still use it to do it again. The other card down here is Transfusion. So this is deal 1 to an ally and give another ally +2/+2. So if you have Crimson Disciple on your board, you can deal 1 damage to her. It'll give 2 damage to their Nexus. You buff up another guy as well. So it's a great combination card. This is one of the keys to this deck. Next card on this list is Legion Grenadier. This card is a 2-cost 3/1. So it's not great for defending, but when it dies, the last breath is deal 2 damage to the Nexus. So you kind of want this to die. I use this usually for killing one of their bigger units. If they attack you with like a 3/3 or a 4/3, you can defend and kill it, and then you still get some damage on the Nexus, even though this didn't get to attack. It's a really good card. Definitely want to have 3 of those in there. After that is one of the best cards in this deck, which is Used Cask Salesman. This is the only 3-cost minion in this deck. There's 3 of these in here. He is a 3/2, and when he's summoned, you summon 2 Caustic Casks as well. These are 0/1 ephemeral, meaning they automatically die at the end of the round. And when they die, their last breath is to deal 1 to each Nexus. So yes, this does hurt your Nexus, but this deck does not matter if your Nexus is low or not. You just want theirs to be lower than yours. So you play this, it does 2 damage to your Nexus and 2 to theirs, and you still have this 3/2 which you can attack or defend with. These are great, especially when it's your opponent's turn. They may play a couple of big minions, and they attack. You can use your 2 casks to block their attackers, and then they die at the end of the turn anyway. So it's a really great card. And then the last minion in this deck is our champion Jinx. Jinx is a great card. I'm sure you probably ran into her a few times already. She's a 4 mana, 4/3 with quick attack, meaning she attacks before the blocker does, so it's very hard to kill her in combat. She levels up when your hand is empty. That's why she fits so good into this deck, because this deck is a lot of 2 and 3 cost cards, and you run out of cards relatively quickly. So when you do run out of cards, rather than it being a bad thing, it levels up Jinx, and then you start making the rockets. So when she levels up, she goes from a 4/3 to a 5/4. Then, at the start of round, you draw an extra card. I can't tell you how huge this is to draw 2 cards every round when your opponent is drawing 1. It's amazing. And then, on top of that, the first time your hand is empty each round, once she's leveled up, you get a fleeting, meaning it disappears at the end of the round, Super Mega Death Rocket, which is this here. So it's a 2-cost slow spell. It deals 4 damage to their Nexus and 1 to all other enemies. It's amazing. The effects on it are really cool. It comes shooting right out towards the middle of your screen. But once you're at the end of the game, you play Jinx, you level her up, you're almost out of cards. Instead of not knowing what to do, you make a bunch of these Mega Death Rockets, and you just win the game really quickly. A lot of times you won't even get to fire off more than 1 or 2 of these, because by the time you're in turn 5 or 6, they're almost dead already. But it's just a great way to close out the game if you need it. If you already have a Jinx on board and you have another in hand, she turns into this spell, Jinxes Get Excited, which is the exact same spell as regular Get Excited. It's a 3-cost, discard a card to deal 3 to anything. Most of the time, you're going to want to deal the 3 right to their Nexus, although there will be times you need to take out an important minion on their side, but this usually is used to just deal direct damage to their Nexus. So that's how Jinx works. It's a great card, especially in this deck. So now I'm going to get into the spells in this deck. Most of the spells can be targeted right at your opponent's Nexus for direct damage, meaning at the end of the game, if you're running out of minions, you could just poke down their Nexus and kill them really quick. The first one is Blade's Edge. It's a real simple card. 1 damage, deal 1 to anything. So you can use this to poke down one of their minions if they have 1 health left. You can use this to activate your Crimson Disciple like I talked about earlier, or you can just target their Nexus directly if they just need that 1 extra damage to finish them off. It's a really good card. I have 2 of those. After that, we have Brothers Bond. So this is a 2-cost card. Real simple as well. Grants 2 allies +2/+0. So if you're in combat and you need a little more damage to finish off some of their minions, just cast this. As well as if they don't have anything to block, because most of the time you're going to have a lot more minions on board than they will, you can just buff up the ones they didn't block and squeeze in an extra 4 damage. It's a really great card. Also, 2 of those. Then we have Mystic Shot. So Mystic Shot is a 2-mana card. Deal 2 to anything. So it's basically the exact same thing as the Blade's Edge here. It's just double. It's 2 mana instead of 1 and 2 damage instead of 1. Everything else is the same. You use it to do damage to their guys, or you can just target their Nexus directly and just do an extra 2 damage with Mystic Shot. It's one of the most popular cards in the game, so I'm sure you've come across this a lot of times by now. But I definitely recommend having 3 copies of that in this deck. Then we have Transfusion. So Transfusion, I kind of went over already. It's a 2-cost. You deal 1 to an ally and give another ally +2/+2. So you can use this to damage your Crimson Disciple and do extra damage. Or if you have anything else that you want to damage that's not going to kill it, you can also buff up your minions. And this is actually one of the strongest cards in this deck because people don't see this coming. Then you also have Get Excited. So Get Excited is a very popular card in this game as well. I'm sure you've seen this many times. 3-cost, discard 1, deal 3 to anything. So the best part about this card, is this can be targeted directly to their Nexus as well. So if you have, say, a couple of these in your hand, you can get 6 damage done for 6 mana and close out the game. It's a great card. And the last card here is Decimate. So Decimate is a 5-cost card. It's slow, so you can't play it during combat. It deals 4 damage to the Nexus. That's all it does. So you have 3 copies of this in this deck. So say you get 2 of them, that's 8 out of the 20 damage just from casting 2 Decimates. It's a really strong card. I highly recommend 3 of these. I can't stress enough how much Decimate has won me games in the past. People, you know, all of a sudden their board is huge and mine is almost all dead. I happen to top deck a Decimate when they have 3 health left. I cast it, game over. Yeah, so that's it. That's all the cards. Now let's get into some gameplay. I'll show you exactly how this deck works. Alright, I'll play my Saboteur. I'm actually just going to attack first, even though I could play another card and attack for more, because I know he's not going to be able to block it, so I'm definitely going to get the 3 damage in. I'm just going to attack with everything, see what he does. I don't think he's going to block anything, watch. So I do 2 damage automatically. Oh, he's actually going to kill his blacksmith. I'm surprised. Blacksmith's a really strong card. I'm surprised he traded that, but yeah, look, he's down to 9 already on turn 4. If he would have kept his blacksmith, this would have been a 3-3. I think that was a mistake on his part. Alright, end round. I'm going to play the Cask Salesman. So this is the 3-cost 3-2 that summons 2 of these caustic casks, which are very good for blocking, which you'll see right now. So he's going to attack. I can't block his elusive guy, but I can block Zed with these 2 casks. So he's got 2 Zeds here. Block them both with a cask. That's pretty much all I can do for now. And take only 2 damage. Now he's down to 7. So I have the ability to win pretty much right now. So what I'm going to do is play Blade's Edge on her. It'll do 2 damage to his Nexus. Take him down to 5. I'm also going to play Mystic Shot on his Nexus. Now he may have... No, he doesn't have enough mana to play Deny even if he has it. So I'll play both of these. So this causes him to take 2 when it survives damage. So he just took 4. He's down to 3. Now that's the end of the round. Now it's my turn. And because I go first, I can play the slow card before I have to do anything else. So I play Decimate, which will do 4 to him unless he can stop it. Deny. Okay, so he has Deny, which I kind of thought he would. That's the Ionia decks all play 3 denies. Not the hugest deal, because we still get to attack. And actually, the other card we just drew is Boom Crew Rookie. So when we play this, no matter how he blocks, he's going to take a damage from him, and 2 damage from him. So, oh, there you go. He must have done the math, so he surrendered. It didn't matter how he would have blocked it, he would have lost anyway, so there's a good example of how this deck works. That's one of the things about this deck, is you're almost always going to have a good starting hand. It's very rare that you don't have cards you can play right in the beginning. So here's a good example. 1 drop, it's a 3-2. Doesn't even matter if he blocks. It'll kill his guy if he does block. If he doesn't, he'll take 3 damage. There we go. So 3 damage on turn 1 is pretty much the most you can do. Or turn 3, we're going to play the Grenadier and also another Saboteur. There we go. So he's going an elusive deck, you can see. Most likely a lot of the cards in this deck are elusive. That's fine. We'll still attack with everything. He takes 1 damage from the Saboteur. He chooses to block the 1/1 spider. I don't really care about that. This is fine too because this is supposed to die. This is the one where when it dies it deals 2 damage to the Nexus, so we'll kill his Omen Hawk and he'll still take 2 damage. So now he's down to 7. He's down to 7 on turn 3. Okay. Now we should have enough. 6, we have 8 mana. I think we can just win straight out. This doesn't really matter. I'll do that. Hopefully he will use up some more of his mana before... Okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Now he only has 3 mana left, which is perfect. It means he doesn't have enough for Deny. So I don't really care that he killed my guy. Now I will cast Decimate. And get excited. Throw this out. And do 3 more. So that's 7 damage. And I don't think he's any way to stop this. There we go. So 3, and another 4. Game over. Turn 1, we go first. Play the Legion Rearguard. Hopefully he doesn't play anything. Then we attack for 3. Perfect, turn 1. Oh, I should say he shouldn't attack, not that he can attack. It's possible he has that Frostbite card for 1 mana. There it is. It's fine. It still procs her 2 damage. It just won't kill his Sentry. See? He still takes 2. Attack with everything. I don't really care if he blocks and kills these. That's fine. They can't defend, so there's no reason to not attack with them. So I killed both of his guys, snuck in 3 more damage. He's down to 12. If he attacks, I'll just block it with one of these, which is the beauty of the Cask Salesman, is he makes defenders for you if you play him on their turn. So now this guy does nothing, and he takes 2 damage from these, so he's down to 10. Now I'm going to attack with both of these. See what he blocks. Alright, he blocks that. He's gonna Frostbite me. Oh no, 1 damage to this, 1 damage to this. So, instead, I'm going to let's see. I will actually let this guy die and save this guy. Buff him up so that the 1 damage doesn't kill him. I could have killed his Elnuk and let this guy die, but I wanted to get that 5 damage in, because now he's down to 5. I have Decimate, I have Get Excited, and I have the Salesman. So I'm going to play him now. This is 2 more damage, and then, assuming he doesn't have any crazy heal spell or something, either one of these 2 cards will kill him next turn. Yep, so I'm just going to play Decimate right now. He's only got 3 health. Decimate does 4. That's an easy win. So as you can see, this deck is really fast and really powerful. You can win a lot of games really quickly with this. It might be the strongest deck guide I've made so far. With the changes to the meta, the elusives are not quite as strong, and they did nerf a couple of the other champions that were overpowered, so this deck, in my opinion, is the best one to play if you're trying to climb ranked. So let me know what type of luck you have, and any comments, leave them below, and there'll be links to some of my other deck guides in a minute here. Alright, thanks a lot, guys. See you later.